Well, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. I thank the Lord for being able to have another opportunity to be in front of the cameras again and be able to be in your homes and being able to be with Jason over here at UPTV. Appreciate the compliment, Jason, on the dress. Me and E.B. Davis being one of the best dressed on UPTV. So I thank the Lord for allowing us an opportunity to be on there through UPTV and all of his staff and all of the city of Urbana. Just been going through just a busy summer, a busy day today. Just working on a funeral service for a great man and a great family, being Herman Bishop Sr., 74 years old and a retired firefighter, one of the first black firefighters in the city of Champaign. And so I thank the Lord for his family giving me an opportunity to memorialize Mr. Bishop. Seems to be a great guy. And I thank the Lord for his close friends, Raymond and Judy Sawyer. Just seems to be great friends, and you have really truly, Mrs. Sawyer, showed a true example of what friends are for, and how you can be a friend to someone and being able to assist this family. So I tip my hat to you, ma'am, and to your belated husband, Mr. Raymond. I know those guys were true friends and just were great examples of what men ought to be in friendship and as far as being employees together for many years for the City of Champaign's Fire Department. So thank you very much, ma'am, for what you've done. Just as I roll through the city today and I'm riding around and I'm looking at students returning back to school. I mean, it's move-in week for the University of Illinois, and it's back to high school for a lot of high school students and back to grade school, middle school for a lot of our students, and just seeing the excitement on students' faces. And so I just commend you guys on making an effort back to school and being raring and ready to go. We have so many different obstacles, but you are the ones, you are up and coming future that can make the difference. And so every day, don't take it for granted. Go in a classroom and really just try to make a difference. And I was down at the detail shop messing with my buddy T that owns a detail shop in town, and he was able to tell me about a story of a guy that came in to motivate the Urbana school teachers. And just a terrific story from an African-American perspective of an African-American professor, double PhD, as this guy's achieved major heights, and he was able to motivate teachers into leaving no child behind, and being able to understand the obstacles that a lot of African-American children and minority children have to go through. And so I take it that you guys, I won't go into elaborating with it long, but I hope it was helpful to you guys, and continue to bring in motivational speakers, people that can enlighten you to show you the diversities and the adversities that we have in the struggle to be successful. And so I would hope that you guys take every nugget that he gave you and through his ups and his downs, and I just thank the Lord for the young man that was able to make it through all those adversities, the ups and the downs, the highs and the lows, to able to give back to communities across this nation and across the world, to motivate people that's in a position to encourage others. And so that is totally what we're here for, is to encourage others. We came back off of a great Champaign-Urbana Day. I mean, I was able to have a great time out there with Dr. Patterson and Big Bill, and special thanks to Mayor Gerard and Bank Champaign. Along myself, we were able to give out over 100 school bags, back to school bags. We were able to distribute to parents and families and kids all across the park that day. And big shout out to you, Dr. P. I mean, you rolled your music out, and Big Bill was able to be on the Wheels of Steel once again, and it just brought back old time memories for me and him, and just be able to connect with people and be on the mic, and just everybody that I met out there and I seen that I hadn't seen in a while, that came back to Champaign and said, man, I mean, I love Champaign-Urbana Day, and it's great to see you guys, and those type of things, just the amount of love that was shown out there from everyone. And so I just thank the Lord for that. it was just great. We had a low attendance on Champaign-Urbana Day this particular year, and one of the things that I feel, and I spoke with my nephew and several others about the low attendance. Definitely first on the agenda was violence. You know, the amount of violence that has occurred in our community that has alarmed people and put people in fear of large gatherings, such as Champaign-Urbana Day. So that was one of the top agendas. I know I addressed it at a special meeting that we had with the police department of the city of Champaign and Chief Cobb and other community leaders, and we were able to talk about proactive steps in how to prevent any type of violence throughout that whole day's event. You know, we had y'all back. So, you know, I mean, that's just the nature of me to try to make sure that everybody's safe and throughout whatever's happening throughout our community. And so spearheading that and just trying to come up with some steps of what we can do and how we can mobilize in case of a need of an emergency out there. But I thank the Lord that we went problem free. And that's the way our community is supposed to represent, man. You will hear me many times on this television program reference back to what we had at Douglas Center Park, and every day was a Champaign-Urbana Day, and every day was love, and every day was support from many adults and directors and people that were assigned to Douglas Center Park, whether it was the annex or wherever they were, that helped control our environment, that helped uplift our environment, that brought something to the table. So I thank the Lord for everybody that came out Champaign-Urbana Day. And then the second thing was we've lost control of our day. You know, when it's something that belongs to you, have some input, and just being real with you. I keep it real across the board, 100%. No disrespect to anyone, but we have lost. We lost our day. We don't have any input anymore. So once we don't have any input, we lost control. So we got to get in where we fit in. And so that being said, you know, even me with the basketball tournament, I mean, this year would have been the 19th year of putting the basketball tournament together for Champaign-Urbana Day. But I wasn't even called. No one even picked up the phone and even called me that they were having meetings and things of that nature to try to see if I even want to participate. And how can you take something away from people, you know? And it just behooves me of the lack of communication that we have with each other if we want to put together successful events. Because communication breakdowns, that's one of the lines of division, is that we don't talk to each other about what we want. Can't roll something out into a community and just give people what you want to give them. You know, let them have some input. Let them have some say-so. And even if they're not paying for it, you know, find out if we can pay for some things, find out if we can donate some things, and just be a part. And so I think it's a collective effort. I know that you guys did a great job. I thank the Lord for the Park District staff. I send you out there, Tom, Al, and Mary, and you guys did a great job of controlling that atmosphere and putting that together. So I tip my hat to you. Just a great day, and I know it's tough and things of that nature. But the administrators above their pay grade, you know, recognize that everybody's a part of this community, and that's a part of the Park District festivals for that particular day. I know that Microwave came out and did a great job. A couple other bands, Razor Sharp, were out there. Linda Ruth and her fashion show, talent show, was great. You know, just let's start to build. I remember back when Terry Townsend and a bunch of us played a role into promoting that day, and we were into I guess a year out mode or a 2-year out mode where we all were participants in the meetings, and man, what a time we had with our community back then, and so that was when the hotel was on Neal Street. And Terry put that together, and it was just great, man. Just different floors for different flavors for everybody. And I remember dancing with some seniors, and man, we just had a great time of remembrance. And so that was excellent time that we had together. As you can see, I kind of put my notes together today, and we're going to try to stick to the notes. You know, what I have on my notes is just it shows another example of how the participation can play a deep role on the self-esteem of our community, the forward movement of our community. And so many times we've lost so many different things in our community. And so whether if it was businesses, whether if it was family members that were significant to the community, like a Mr. Bishop, or whether if it was organizations such as the Urban League, or the rebuilding of the NAACP, or the newness of the Champaign Urbana Chamber. We've lost so many different things. I mean, our First Street and what John Lee tried to create there, it's getting diversified now. We got to get back what the devil then took from us now, and claim it. Claim it and stand on it, and participate wherever you can. To be a help to our community, our young people, to be able to help them have dreams, aspirations, to participate, to come back, to go out and seek out a vision, and then return with that education to come back and apply it to our community. And I believe that deep in my heart and spirit is that is what needs to happen. So that being said, we just got so many different things going on, and what I should have kicked it off with it. I thank the Lord for everyone that comes back and that tell me. I ran into a older lady at the store yesterday, and she said, "Sean, I watch your program every night. And when are you going to tape another program? Because I done watched that program about 2 or 3 times. And you need to get back in there and tape you another program, because I watch it and my granddaughter watch it. And then I ran into another young man that said him and his kids watch it. So I appreciate you guys. I mean, because it's always good to try to encourage others, to uplift them, to make us continuously do things. And that's the same way our organizations work. It's participation, encouragement, whether it's a monetary donation or just a kind word. Throughout our community, to uplift each other and tell you keep on keeping on. So I really appreciate that, man. And as my heart gets filled with warmth and fondness right now, tearfulness, because I try to put my heart in everything that I do. And so when I'm either doing this church this television program, or I'm doing a funeral service, or whether if I'm providing some insurance for someone, or just being a community guy. Whatever I do, or you come to Jericho Missionary Baptist Church, 1601 West Bloomington Road, and you come over there to a church service, and you happen to see me on the Congos going through a thing. I put my heart into it. So, and I encourage you, young people, whatever you do this year, at the school, put your whole effort into it. Put an honest effort into it. Don't try to beat nobody. Don't try to cut corners, is what I told a young man in my insurance office the other day. So some things just come by hard work, and you can't cut any corners. So let's stop cutting corners, because eventually you have to go back and fill in that corner that you tried to cut, because life isn't just a cookie cutter. And so so sometimes you just gotta go straight at it, straight down the middle. We've had so many different rash of acts of violence throughout our own local community here, most recently. And after the last program that I taped here in the studio, we've had some things happen with some violence and some shootings, and that have turned out into homicides. And unfortunately, you can't say you're sorry after you commit such a violent act of crime. And so we're still looking for some suspects out there. And unfortunately, these young men that have died to the hands of other people, they're still out throughout our community or throughout this nation. And so big shouts out to the Rakim Vineyard family, and Cabri Young family, and Alan Redding family. My hearts and prayers go out to your families. To the single moms and their families, and the brothers and sisters. Man, it's tough, man, to lose a loved one. And as I'm saying it to you, my mind is steady reflecting back on the loss of a loved one, even in my own life. And it's hard to move forward, man, when somebody snuffs somebody out of your life in the midst of seconds, or after you just talked to them, or you didn't get a chance to say bye, or you didn't get a chance to say you love them. And it's hard to move forward, man. And so my heart goes out to you guys, and you just keep your head up, man. Put your hand in God's hand, and I rest assure you, God will give you the comfort that you need, and that you know, when He takes something away from you, He always fills it back up with something else, and continue to stay on investigators and things of that nature. Don't let it die down at all, not one bit, because no one deserves to die by the hands of another. I just still commend you guys for being able to do tremendous memorial services and for your loved ones to just be in the gap for them. And so, you know, I wrote down on my paper, and I was thinking, I was sitting in my office, and I'm thinking of things to be able to address you guys through this nightly television program, and you know, so many times I'm in dialogues with different people throughout the day in many different circles, and so they say, well, I've heard this. If you want to be if you want to kill people and you want to be violent like that, well, why don't you go to Iraq, or why don't you go join the military and things of that nature? And I'm with them in a certain sense. I was in the military, and if you want to do things of that nature, you want to get a purple heart or a recommendation or some type of pat on the back for defending something, then to go defend our country. We have many obstacles that's going on in the Middle East and some things of that nature for this great country that we call United States of America. And I encourage you young people, you know, don't just get involved with different things going on in the streets. You know, take that negative and turn it to a positive, and go somewhere where people are going to commend you for what you do, and get the proper training. I mean, go to the military and get the proper training. So that's my take on it. You know, you don't have to go to prison. You know, you don't have to be a bum on the street. You don't have to be any of those things. God has put us here for a reason. Find your purpose in life. Find out what God has you here for, because we all have our purpose here in life. You know, and so that being said, you know, yeah, and so that being said, you know, just going on that and kind of cover. I kind of went through that kind of fast and covered that whole sheet. But you know, it just going back into it, you know, I always have looked at you know, putting some grace and mercy on everything, adding some God to everything that you do, and so most recently being able to attend some great services. And just my hat tips off to you, John Brownlee, for the service that we gave for Rakim and the things that you were able to tell to the hundreds and hundreds of young people that attended that service. You know, man, I know that was one of the first times that you ever had to do a eulogy for a family, but you did a great job. You did a great job, and everybody within that service and the other young ministers that attended that service, we strategically set that service up to be able to emotionally address those issues that were going on with some of those young people, and the word that you brought out of the text, talking about Babylon and the kings, the two wicked kings, and how the people didn't understand what was right from what was wrong. And I think that was it was very up to date. It was very good in referencing it to what we're going through in this day. You know, because a lot of us can't even understand what's right and what's wrong, because of the fact that we've been doing wrong for so long, and it's so much promoted. Wrong is promoted so much. You know, just had a real, very, very, very candid conversation with my daughter about some different things, and she's seen what I saw, and a lot of us, you know, we know wrong just feels wrong. Wrong feels wrong, but right always feels right. And so always try to do the right thing as much as you can. You know, I know people pull you off your square, and I most recently had on a few different occasions. People want to pull me off my square because they see God got you climbing, you know, and they see the trinkets and the tangible things that might come along with some forms of either success or hard work. I won't say success because I haven't arrived yet. I ain't got to the place where I think God want me to be at. You know, I think it's just hard work. and it's just the things that come along with hard work. But not everybody, gonna be on your team, man. Not everybody want to see you be successful. And some people in your life just to trip you up, or come in your path just to trip you up, or say a negative word. But what I would encourage you to do, shake the haters off. Go around some encouragers, go around some positive people, do some positive things. You won't see a lot of them in a positive setting, because negative people just attract the negative people, and so that's all they friends. That's all the places that they want to go, because that's just the magnet that draws them. But when you get to talking about one thing that when you get to talking about God to some people, or you get to talking about something positive to some people, they shut up, because they cannot connect to what you're saying, because they're so clouded. Their mind is so clouded. As I just attended a community coalition meeting on last week with like-minded minds in a setting at the police department, where we're trying to come up with ways that we can help solve some of the violence throughout our community. And one of the things that we were able to come out with, and I think it's a campaign that the police department is promoting about being able to use either a phone or being able to call the hotline once you see violence, or you see something criminal happening throughout our community that prevents our community from being a safe place. And so one of the things that I thought about, and even in trying to create this here program, even for like maybe the Vineyard family or the Redding family or the Young family, and just put myself in their shoes, because a lot of times we got to look at it from out of our own lens into another person's lens. And I know I can just say, if it had been one of my nephews or my brother, for example, I want justice to be served. I would want justice to be served. And in order to create that great community, that great space that we want to create, we got to start addressing some of these issues. So the people that were around at the time that these acts of violence happened, you got to say something. You got to say something. How could you sleep at night knowing that you just witnessed a violent act of homicide or a criminal act to violate another person? How could you just sit back and sleep at night? What type of person are you? To let another family go through this, this type of stuff. We got to start. And, the people, we're all connected to somebody. And we all know when our folks crazy and our folks are acting crazy, and we are the ones that they're close to, that they'll listen to. They will say, man, what are you talking crazy for like that? Why will you do things like that? It referenced me back to when we were in that funeral setting. And even for me being a funeral home owner, to be able to, these kids are kids that grew up around my shop. So I don't want to see you at the funeral home. You're supposed to be on your way to college. You're supposed to be starting college this morning, And so to be in the basement of my funeral home, getting ready to get prepared for a funeral service for your family's final viewing, it's sad. So as I couldn't take it anymore, I had to walk outside, because I know these young guys, and we laughed together. We've had fun together. We joked together. We talked about life together, and about future together, and about corrective behavior together, and things of that nature, And so to be able to go out and talk to young people once I walked outside, and to be able to see, because we don't know how to channel our anger as young people, and especially young African American men, our hurt. We don't know how to channel our hurt. When we're hurt, it turns into anger. Anger leads for the devil to get into, to start reprobating our mind, to get our mind to start thinking in different ways. And so we got to act that out in some way. We got to spend that energy in some type of way. And so what we do is we spend that energy in the act of violence, repeating the same act that created us into this hurt place. So then hurt people hurt each other. And then it's a repetitious effect. Now it's that mother that's going through, but it's another mother the next day that's going through. It's another brother and sister going through the same thing, And so So what I put on my paper and what I put in my heart, no, let's kill that campaign of stop snitching and start a campaign of start snitching. Start talking about these people. Start saying what's right. Say when things are wrong in your community. Our elderly people depend on us, the next generation, to take on the torch, take on a responsibility to protect them in a safe space. One of the shootings, not only did the young man get killed, but my mom used to say, bullets have no eyes. So it went through a house and grazed a young man that was in the space he was supposed to be in, and that's at home. When you're not safe at your own home, then we don't have a safe community. And so we got to start addressing these things and stop pushing things under the rug. Let's stop being soft and not addressing it just the way it should be addressed. Correcting our own people in our own community. Don't let nobody outside our community have to come in and tell us what we should be doing for our community and that type of thing. And your people need to be doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that. We got to start leading the path and leading the way. Whether if it's our organizations, our leaders, or the people that have took on the role as leaders. Stop sugarcoating it. Keep it real. People like it when you keep it real. It lets you know that you really love them, you really care about them, because you ain't looking the other way. You're telling them just like it is. Some of my buddies say, just like a TI is. Tell them like it is. Hurt. When you tell them things just the way it is, they understand that it's coming from love because you don't have to do it. And a lot of times, the hard pills are hard to swallow. And so just tell it like it is. I mean, even for me, if you see me doing something that I ain't got no business doing, tell me so I can correct my behavior, because I'm trying to get to where God wants me to be at. Jumping over hurdles every day. Shaking my haters off every day, spray my hater guard on before I even get up out the house. That's along with, that's along with the Burberry and all the other stuff that we got to spray on, Eternity and all that. We spray that on, spray your hater guard on, shake it off. So when you go out your door, man, you on your road to success. I don't care what nobody think. Yeah, racism exists. Yeah, and we have our own racism stuff that we have going on with each other. Because we in the crab in the barrel mentality. I understand that. So, but don't let it play such a role that it affects your decision making on what your next move gonna be. Because, like I said, man, not everybody want to see you be successful. Not everybody want to see you get an education, get your degree, or get 2 degrees, or be the shining light for your family. But I thank the Lord for what He's bestowed upon me. And the great task that I have in front of me, and I'm just gonna take the challenge and keep it moving, and one of the things I wanted to address on that particular issue is parents. Let's start being parents. I mean, I rode through the North End the other day, and right before you get to the tracks going, I guess that's going west, about 9:30 at night, and I seen some 7 and 8 year olds along with some girls, some young ladies. That, probably the oldest one probably was about 14, talking to a young man on a bicycle. And I'm saying to myself, man, back in the day, we had to be in the house when the lights came on. When the street lights came, we didn't have to have a watch or a phone or a smartphone or alarm to tell us or somebody come riding by looking for us. And don't let nobody have to come riding by looking for you. That was a whole nother issue. I know they done took away, where you can, put some type of punishment on your people and on your kids. But you got to come up with some creative way to show them that you love them with some hard love, and a 7-year-old or 8-year-old, they should be attached with a parent at that time of night. And then we wonder why we come up with the problems that we come up with. School can't solve that issue. Police department can't solve that issue. Community leaders can't solve that issue. That's your responsibility. To know where your people at, know where your kids at, the people that you created. Nobody else created these people. Nobody said that I want to have a family of 4. I want to have a family of 5, a family of 10. And I love my older people. I love my seniors because, like my family, I had at one time 22 brothers and sisters. My mom and them had a big family of 10 to 12. Everybody that we knew had people that had teen. It was they were in teens and kids. But those older people knew their responsibilities, and they took care of kids. Man, we can't even take care of 1 or 2 kids nowadays. So, you know, I don't harp on you. I ain't get on you too bad about it. But man, and if you need some help, it takes the village to raise a child. So, you know, uncles, let's start being uncles. Aunties, let's start being aunties. Cousins, let's start being true cousins, blood cousins, and helping out parents. You know, leaders, you step up and you got an organization. Let's really, truly get out here and beat the bricks, man. You know, big shouts out to you, Pastor Johnson, for the program that you set up every 4th Wednesday night. We're taking our stuff to the streets. We're taking our Bible class to the streets. I encourage every one of you Christian leaders out there, take it to the streets, man. You know, the Bible said go. Say go. It don't say stay, it say go. Spread the word. You know, spread the word. Spread the greatness, the goodness of God. You know, so if that's what you represent, let's get busy. Let's get busy, man, because a lot of people out there hurt. And so, you know, that being said, I come back into what we've been trying to do, and I big shouts out to you. I seen a lot of people out there campaigning at Champaign-Urbana Day, and I seen a lot of people out there registering people to vote. And so that being said, we had a great big debate, and whichever you can call it, a debate. Some people might call it an argument, but we call it a debate in the barbershop. And so, you know, and they said, so they're saying, well, Sean, are you with Carol Lamons? Yeah, I'm with Carol Lamons. Are you with Governor Quinn? Or are you with Ronner? And I'm like, well, I did just meet Governor-elect Ronner the other day at a church service at my church. And big shouts out to you for touching bases and coming into the community and being able to see what the little people like us are on and things of that nature, and hear our voice and things of that nature. And so, you know, for me, this is just for me, the views and opinions of Sean. Gangs really never my repertoire. I was, you know, a lot of times we just following. We don't even know what we following. So whether if you was a GD or you was the vice lords, you know, back in the day you had to make a decision, or somebody was gonna beat you up, you know. So and then you couldn't have had to be connected to the people that I was connected with just by blood. So you might get beat up at the house, and you know, and just that's what we had to go through. So you had to make a choice, and so but it taught me something, you know. Don't be attached to no knuckleheads. You know, so whether one way or another, whether it's a political decision, whether Democrat or Republicans, I done heard crazy stuff across the board, whether it's Democrats or Republican. I was listening to Rush Limbaugh earlier today, and it was some Tea Party nut that was on there talking about some craziness. And I mean, you just got crazy people. You know, I'm an individual thinker, so I'm an independent. But sometimes you might hear a good word from a Republican, or you might hear a good word from a Democrat. I hate that our laws in the state of Illinois are the way they are, because I don't just want to go to the ballot and pull a Democratic ticket. I want to pull for who's the best for the job. So if any of you guys out there connected politically or something like that, let's change that. Let us be able to have a freedom of choice. I mean, come on, man. I defended this country for freedom of choice. Put my life on the line, me and all my buddies. I raised our right hand to God. Give us a freedom of choice. It might be a Democrat that says something great, or it might be a Republican that says something great, or it might be not that knucklehead I heard on Rush Limbaugh that's a Tea Party member, but it might be somebody with something sensible that I might be able to make a choice on. So, you know, so let's have an opportunity to be able to make a choice. But, you know, I do commend anybody politically that stand on what they say, even after the election's over with. So just don't run to our church because you're campaigning. Do what Mayor Gerard do. Bring your mother on the Mother's Day, you know, and big shouts out to you, Mr. Mayor, you know, because I commend you on, sometimes we only connect just before some type of special interest or political gain. But I thank the Lord for you being able to talk to some of the young people that don't look like you or don't look like nobody you ever met, you know. But sometimes it's a victory. And when you just build a relationship with a person, you're able to say hi. So many times we get on our high horse and we're so caught up in just us that we forget about the little people. We forget about the people that can make a difference. We forget about the person that's on the verge of making the act of violence be a reality. You know, the people that just need somebody to love on them. That families won't have to go through what they're going through. I mentioned years ago, I said, man, hey, ministers, let's get out of our churches. I mean, because I know the stick-up man. You know, I've showed them some love over the years. You know, I've gave them $1 or $2, you know. But when they run out of options of doing these acts of violence, it ain't like they finna stop. Because once you get away with something, you just keep it going until you get caught or until you kill somebody. So we got to get out there and we got to really just show these people it's not, vengeance is the Lord's, but it's our job to go out there and correct behavior. You know, because we leave it up to the penitentiary, or we leave it up to the prison system, and it's supposed to be the place that corrects behavior. But we connect somebody that's with driving with somebody that committed multiple homicides, or doing a rash of burglaries or a rash of robberies, and we put them in the same cell with little counseling or social type services or mental health services or whatever there is. And then we think they're going to come back out and they're going to stop driving. No, they done been in cellmates with this jerk for the last 18 months, listening to his stories. You know what they're going to do? They're going to get in the car and recreate what this turkey been telling him for the last 18 months. So what we got to do on our streets, we got to have some when they come back in, and we got some programs, so when they re-enter our community, we have something in place for them to go to, so they don't continue to repeat the same behavior. So when you guys get in your political office, work on that. Work on some real stuff that's going to help our community. You know, as we go through the things that we're going throughout our community, it's communities across the nation that's facing adversities and things that they're going throughout their communities. And one of the hot ones right now is that's going through is Ferguson, Missouri, and the unarmed killing of Michael Brown. And so my hearts and prayers go out to that family. You know, you have all kinds of stories that's going out. I was reading some stuff before I left the office, and there's so many different people saying so many different things. And Sean Hannity has his opinions, and Rush Limbaugh has his opinions, and Stephen A. Smith then came out with his opinion, and we got a Attorney General Holder. He's landed yesterday, and so much rioting and violence have came out. At first, we were looking like victims within the African American community till people started flocking in from all over the nation because of the hurts that have went on with other communities, with police and things of that nature. And so what it did for me, it opened up an old wound. You know, some things you just don't get past. And what that old wound was called Keywan Carrington that we had locally here in our community. And the only thing that kept us from being a Ferguson, Missouri, was that we had people that were in place to downplay the acts of violence that were about to happen. And so never forget that. City of Champaign, never forget the people that played a role into that. Don't never forget that. Because just like that community, they could have jumped on board, because not even me. You know, I've seen road cops before. I've talked to them before I even got involved with city and community work. And I've been on the block with guys. And I've been on the block where we were targeted just because of our neighborhood, because of the color of our skin, you know, because you got on the force for the wrong reasons, you know. You got on there for racial motivations and things of that nature, and because you were able to express yourselves on people that couldn't defend themselves against you, you know. And so let's never forget that, man, throughout this community, because we never want that to happen again. We never want to hurt another family in that particular way. And I say we, because we're all in this together. So whether if you played one role of a hiring practice, for the officers that perform these types of violent acts, or you're the opposite side of it, you know, where you just didn't play a role at all in any of it, you know, whether if it was going to a meeting or being at a PTA meeting or a parent-teachers conference or whatever roles we played, you know, whatever roles we played, you know. We're all in this together, and just like they're trying to bring their community together down in Ferguson, you know, we had things in place that helped us make it through and just manage it and things of that nature. And when I seen it happen, it reflected me back to when the Department of Justice guy came here, Ken, and he asked us in a closed environment at the library with a lot of our leaders. And I remember this was one of my first meetings because I felt like a lot of you guys in the community. I felt like we had people in place, and I'm busy with my own life, and man, I would see different leaders going through annex meetings, or whether if it was a city meeting, and I'm on my, you know, I love to wash my car, and so I was on my way to the car wash a lot of these meetings that were going on. But I seen different players, and I would always give them the thumbs up or blow my horn at them, and you know, take care of that business for the community. And a lot of times, as I've been in these meetings and stuff like that, we're silent. And so as the silence went on after the killing of Kewan Carrington, and no one had an answer, and everybody kind of sugarcoated through the meeting, and Ken asked the question, hey, what's going on here in Champaign-Urbana? What's going on in this community? You know, and no one said anything. It was silent. He said, I asked the question, what's going on in this community? And no one said anything. And hey, little old me, Seon Williams, back in the corner. And I told him, I said, you guys forgive me. Charge it to my head, but not to my heart. But we're divided. We're divided in this community. And if we're divided through our Christian realm, our churches, our organizations, our relationships, if we're divided at the top, it trickles all the way down to the bottom. So we're divided at the bottom. And Ken said, okay, what do you mean, Sean? I said, man, you know, our Pentecostal churches don't mess with our Baptist churches, you know, and we're all on the same type of mission. At least I thought. You know, some of our Baptist churches don't mess with other Baptist churches. and that's a divisionary. Or we don't mess with, one of our white churches don't mess with our black church and things of that nature. And one organization that's African American don't mess with another organization that might be Caucasian and things of that nature. And we might be doing the same thing. We might both be having a garage sale on a Saturday on the same date. Why we can't put that together and have just one big explosion for one good common cause? And it's to prevent either some young one from dying through the hands of another, or somebody, or promoting someone graduating and getting a great education and be able to come back and be a great person in our community. You know, I think that I think those divisionary practices have hurt our community over many, 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 many years. And it's more prevalent now than ever. And I think we got to address it. And we got to, we definitely got to pick up the phone and call each other. And so I definitely think that that's one of the major things. A lot of people are saying, why is the Attorney General coming to that community? You know, just last weekend, and showing that violence is just taking us by storm, because the devil here is here to kill, steal, and destroy throughout wherever you're at. You can't run from it. You can't go down to Atlanta and think you're going to run from it. You can't go to Chicago and think you're going to run from it. Just last week, we had 27 shootings in Chicago, 9 people murdered. That was just last week. I mean, that's coming back to a school season. You know, I couldn't even imagine being a young person trying to catch a bus and then catch the L train and then walk a couple blocks to school. Couldn't even imagine the triumph that they have to go through on a daily basis just to get an education here in America. And here we crying to go to school, and we got a bus coming to our front door. And we can't even be successful and keep a C average grade. And that's under par. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, I mean, just the excuses that I hear. You know, oh, my daddy wasn't here, or my mama was at work, or this and that and this. Man, stop. I don't go on no excuse, man. It's no excuse why you can't make it. in the military, man, nothing barred. You can fill in another blank with some other words, but nothing barred. If we got to get over to that hill, we getting over to that hill. Forget all the negatives and all the naysayers. Get to the hill. And that's the way life is, man. That's the way community is. That's the way we got to direct our families. We can try to get to the hill. And so whatever the mission is, whatever that opportunity is, whatever that job experience is, whatever it is, man, you got to get to it. You know, stop coming up with excuses or ways that we can stay divided. My brother Hub say, just tell me one reason why I can, not 150 reasons why I shouldn't. Just one reason why I can. Help encourage me, motivate me, pump me up. You know, when a boxer goes back to his corner, it's a reason why so many people in the corner. He just don't have the person that's, you know, after he got socked in the eye to kind of put some Vaseline on it. He got about 4 or 5 other people sitting in there saying, man, get back out there. Duck, throw a right, throw a left, a combination. That's life. You got to have 4 or 5 of those people in your corner. You're going to have 50 other people that's going to say, man, why are you doing that? Oh, that's too tough. That's too hard. Yeah, you can't read. You can't write. You're not good at math. Yeah, you're going to have all those people that say that. But and that's what keeps me so God connected. I cannot emphasize that more. Because he going to fill in the blank. Yeah, you ain't. You're not. You might not be good in English. You might not be good in math. But man, when you develop relationships, you get out of that closed environment where the devil's playing a role in your mind and your heart, then man, he going to fill in the gap and put some other people in place. So getting back to what was going on with our youth and the youth that's up in Ferguson and the killing of the unarmed Michael Brown, I look at everything in a 2 or 3 way lens, and I'm going to keep a straight wheel with you across the board. And here it go again, the views and opinions of Sean's. We got to know that the devil is out there targeting us. We got to know that. So when these road cops go out there, it's a certain look they looking for. Saggy pants, T-shirt, no belt. You up to no good is what they saying in their brain. Those are the guys that I want to try to enforce this. If I get a new taser, he the one I'm going to use it on. If he resists, he the one I'm going to shoot twice in the head. And we'll pick up the pieces later, and then my union going to help me. And then the other people that's on the other side looking at this person as being somebody that insignificant, gonna help me. We got to start displaying ourselves in such a profound and professional manner. I seen some young men walking past my mom's house last Sunday, and they looked different because they had on a shirt and tie. They had their pants pulled up on them. They looked like they were on a path of success. And I encouraged them, keep it up, man. Keep it up. That's going to take you a long way. You look different, 4 minutes left. We're going to get down to this here, what you did. And I'm going to tell you what they did down in Ferguson and what happened in Champaign. But see, unlike Champaign, but in Ferguson, you woke up a sleeping giant of a depressed, despair community, and we have them around the country. So I don't know what's going to happen after this, but I hope justice is served to the officer that did the violent act on this young man. It's no excuse just because his pants was down and he was trying to take a couple blunts to take the young man's life, So let's love on each other, man. And what I went to a service the other day, and Pastor Irvin Williams said, let your little light shine. But the light then went out throughout our communities, throughout our families, throughout our friends, throughout a lot of stuff that's going on. So let's get back our light. Let's turn the light back on, man. Let our little light shine. Whatever you can do, let's pick our people up. Let's be an encourager. If your light is bright and it's shining and you're being positive and productive in your life and your community, then spread that light upon others. Don't let the light go out. So when someone good, great, like Bishop or Herman Bishop Sr. pass away, or any other leaders, John Lee pass away, let's keep the light going, man. The light then went out in Ferguson. The light went out for a while in Champaign after Kiwan. The light's going out in Chicago. The devil's in charge. It's hard to move around in a dark room. So when our communities are dark, it's hard to move around. So let's turn the light back on. Even if it's a little bit of light, you can see your way through. So let's turn the light back on. Man, I appreciate you guys listening to me for another episode of Let the Truth Be Told. Man, I love you guys, man. And wherever you see me riding through the community, throw the thumbs up. Love you guys. Thanks to the Lord for another episode of Let the Truth Be Told.